Nom 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 nom. Oi.
Hello everyone, my name is Paulina and I am a knitaholic. Welcome to my channel, Tikva Hobbies, devoted to mostly knitting and crocheting and maybe some other of my hobbies. We'll see. Thank you for watching my videos. I'm really grateful to all of you who have subscribed to my channel and pressed the like button and encouraged me in the comments. Thank you very much. I'm really pleased to see that my videos are becoming popular and useful. Thanks. Today's video is going to be mostly a chatty one, a knitting podcast, and so you'd better grab your favorite drink, knitting needles, or maybe some snacks, press the pause, and when you're ready, let's start. We'll start with the finished object. It's this beautiful shawl. Actually, I've made a pattern based on it, which is called Simple Right Angle Shawl, and it's available for free on Ravelry, and more than 100 people have already downloaded it and pressed the like and commented, and I'm really pleased that I'm being useful. If you would like me to make more knitting patterns, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments. So here it is, this shawl. It's made of yarn art flowers yarn, gradient yarn, and it works best with such kind of shawl. Also, speckled yarn would be fine with little speckles, but not gradient with short sections, because this would mess up the pattern. The stripes, they wouldn't be that bold and visible. So great for gradient and solid colors, and pretty easy. It's basically knit and purl, increases, and that's it. All yarn overs as well for the holes, but pretty easy in general. So you can wear it like this and wrap it around your neck, or you can simply throw it the usual way on your back. Might be great in summer in case there are air conditioners in the room, or in supermarkets, you know, it can get a bit chilly. So I'm definitely going to use it pretty often this summer and spring. Although spring is pretty late to come, as I've already mentioned in the previous video. It's been rather chilly. So that's my finished object. If you haven't watched my tutorial on the channel, please take a look after you finish watching this video. It's pretty detailed, and you can find the link to download the pattern on Ravelry in the info box below that video. So that's the finished object. Hooray! And now to the work in progress. I have two projects. One is a long-going one. If you've watched the previous videos, you know this bed cover, which is huge, and it turned out to be even larger than I thought it would be. And last time when I threw it on the bed to check the width, I decided that it was too wide, because of course these tinsels, right? Or what are they called? They should hang up to the floor, but probably do not reach it, because they might get dusty and messy. But they were all the way up to the floor, and I wasn't sure that's how I like them to be, and decided to unpick it a bit. And this is possible with this style of crocheting, mosaic crocheting, because you walk a row, And when you're through, you pull the thread through the stitch on the hook and cut it. And you do it every row, and that's why there are loose ends on both sides, here and at the start as well. So basically what I needed to do is to unpick every single row, and let me show you. So I had to unpick every single row. I decided to decrease it by approximately 10 centimeters, that's about 4 inches, and fix the tail. I also had to create this border line, so there are 2 single crochets, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not such an expert in crochet terms, right? So, and then I fix the thread, I pull it through the stitch on the hook. So I did it. I unpicked every single row and imitated this border and fixed the thread every single row all the way through. It took me, well, 2 days maybe to do it, but now the bed cover is wide, just as wide as I want it to be, and that's super, that's great. And now there is a little bit less to crochet every row, and I love how it turned out. That's great about this technique. You can fix it. Unlike knitting, you don't usually cut the thread every row, and it's quite often a pain, yeah, for us knitters and crocheters. I love it, how it's going on. I've also worked a few more rows in this creamy white and yellow colored stripe. I could have done much more. I could have actually finished this stripe by this episode if I hadn't been carried away by another project, a new cast-on, a new work in progress. Well, a little bit of history, yeah, a little bit of what happened before. Last season I got really keen on knitting, actually not knitting, crocheting winter hats. This is my hat, which I guess I wore it last winter, all of it, and this winter, which has just finished. Well, not just, a couple of, well, more than a month ago, yeah, now. And it looks pretty nice, even though it's heavily worn. Okay, there is a bit of fluff here, which might be cut. I should probably do it, but otherwise it's great. And it's pretty warm. I can show it, by the way. Let's put it on. That's what it looks like on the head. And I've got a pattern, by the way. I decided to make a pattern on this hat because it's the warmest one for me. It can get only if it's like super windy, you can feel the wind, right? Otherwise it's pretty windproof, and I love it. It's very warm, and most of my relatives and friends now have such hats. And last season I wanted to crochet these in all possible colors of Drops Air, and that's why I have quite a lot of, well, balls of Drops Air, which are halfway through, like 25 grams, maybe up to 30 grams of each, and they're different colors. And like this, for example, I've got this light blue one, this yellow one, I would call it mustard color, and I'll probably leave this one to myself because it's one of my favorite colors, and I guess it really matches well with my winter clothes. I have a copy of my hat, a Bordeaux variation. There have been more of such hats, but they have found their owners. So I had a lot of such balls of drops air, and I realized that they were not enough to make another hat. And actually I got pretty, not exactly tired. I lost interest probably in crocheting such hats and what to do with the yarn. And previously I decided to create a crocheted cowl to go with this hat and use this dark pink color, light pink and creamy white to mix them and crochet it in such a rib which looks like brioche stitch in knitting, but it's crocheted. But it took so much yarn, and I can't say I really liked it. It was pretty dense, the fabric was pretty dense and not that fluffy. When I worked these hats, I used quite a large crochet hook. That was 4.5 millimeters, if I'm not mistaken. I guess it should be 4.5, right? And the fabric is still, well, it's not loose, it's just right, just fine for this pattern. But on the cowl it was so dense, and the yarn itself, it didn't have enough space to show its fluffiness and warmth. So I decided to unravel it, and I did it a few weeks ago. And actually I even created a little video which I'm going to share in a moment, how I unraveled it and what came out of it. And I will also show a process of steaming yarn with steam. Actually, when you unravel a piece, yarn gets really, how to say, it looks like some kind of Asian spaghetti, yeah, messy. And you need to straighten it. Well, you can of course knit as you want. You can just knit with that yarn, but I really wanted it to be straight and nice, so that when I work stockinette stitch, it doesn't annoy me, this not being straight. And I straightened it using steam from a simple ordinary kettle, which is not an electric one, just you put it on the gas or just on your stove, on your oven. And the yarn goes through the kettle and out, and steam makes it straight. You make your ball of yarn slowly, and that's it. It's not damp, just a little bit, but you don't need to dry it or anything. That's pretty convenient, although it did take me a while. The crocheted piece was about this size, like I'd say like 20 centimeters by 30 maybe. I'm not able to say the inches right now, I don't have it in my head, like maybe 9 inches by, I don't know, 13 maybe, no less, about 10 I guess, 9 by 10, well, almost a square shape. And it took me a while, and I felt like a vandal when I had to unpick it, unravel that piece, because the yarn got all stuck and I had to cut it at pieces to let it free. And then steaming took also a couple of hours, I guess. Yeah, both colors, this dark pink and light pink, they both took an hour each to straighten. So in a moment I'll show you a little video, so you know in reality it took much longer than this. But let's take a look. well, you know, it was not as simple as it seems. So I straightened it, and what to do with so many pieces of yarn? Not exactly. I said it was about 20 to 30 grams of each color, and I decided to make a striped sweater. And here it is, my work in progress. So it's a raglan shape, and I have like 3 balls of this olive green color, and about 20 to 30 grams of other colors. That's what it looks like right now. I've already separated the sleeves from the main body, and it's going so fast. I'm accustomed to working with sport weight yarn or fingering, and this one on my needles is it's like lightning. It's like lightning, really fast. I cast it on Tuesday, and today is Saturday, and I'm, well, not halfway through, but the hardest part is over. The hardest part is done. I'm going to alterate the stripes of these colors with the green. I have more of green, so it's going to appear more often. Next, I'm going to work the collar. I'll pick the stitches, and I've decided to knit it in this dark pink color because from 2 hats I have a bit more left, and that's gonna be enough to knit the collar, a high one, and I'm going to fold it double. It will be 1 by 1 rib, and I'm going not just to pick it and knit it at once. I'll do it in a nicer way, in a neater way. I want it to look professional. A few words maybe about how I started this. Oh yeah, I guess it might be useful. Originally I cast on using some waste yarn, like provisional cast on when you use a crochet hook to cast on the stitches on the needle. I did that, and then I started knitting with the yarn, with the drops, and I was over these short rows to form the neck opening when I tried it on, and it seemed so loose. It was gaping really big, and I was frustrated. I was puzzled. Yeah, how could it be? I counted everything fine. Why was it so wide? The thing is, when you use a provisional cast on, it gives a little bit more space between the stitches, and it's not the size you intended to be. But if you unpick it, yeah, if you unravel that provisional cast on and pick the stitches on the needle and knit maybe around right and start knitting up, it'll be all right. But at that moment it seemed so large that I couldn't figure out whether the number of stitches was fine or not. So I decided to start it all over again using good old long tail cast on, and now it's fine. What you should remember when you work a raglan sweater, actually I haven't knitted so many myself, but this time I decided to delve into details. You need to work short rows. First of all, to make this long, well, not long, rather deep neck opening so the sweater doesn't choke you. It's necessary not only if you work jumper, but also if you work a sweater with a collar, because imagine your collar starts not where you intend it to be, somewhere here, for instance, but here it gets choking you. You've probably seen it, even on patterns. You sometimes notice that they should probably have added a bit more space to the neck opening. So of course it should be a bit deeper here. And I've also made this curved line at the back because my neck opening is not very big, because I'm going to knit up a collar. So I also added some short rows at the back so that it doesn't go too far on my neck. Looks nice. So this is really necessary. I turned at the back, in the sleeves, and at the front. So short rows right all the way through it, and that's what my neck opening looks like right now, and I'm going to show it to you on myself in a moment. So you see what it looks like on me. I really love the fact that it's so light. I now start understanding why the yarn is called like this, drops air, because it's so fluffy and it's really, I haven't weighed it, but I guess that it should be less than 100 grams right now. Oh, about this, not more. It's so light and I love this fact. Actually, after finishing this shawl, the plan was to start a linen dress. I have a very beautiful, how to call the color, teal colored, maybe blue linen, and the plan was to start a dress. I even have an idea in mind what it's gonna look like, but again, it's sport weight, 320 meters and 100 grams, and I really wanted to change my knitting activities because fingering and that sport weight, it's just a little bit thicker but not much, and I needed some fast gratification like project when you knit it and you are through with it and you can wear it, you can see the result. Although I'm not going to wear it this spring, I guess, because it's pretty warm. But I'm going to finish it pretty soon, and I've had the chance to work with the raglan shaping and calculate my measurements, because even though I've knitted, I guess, four garments which had raglan shaping on them, and most of them were my own calculations. I was not often satisfied, like fully satisfied with what it turned out to be, because I can see the mistakes. I know how to fix it, but it's way too, I'm nearly done with the project, or I'm done with it, and you need to unravel all of it, and that might be so painful. That's so much work put into this, and this time I decided to calculate it all and not let any miscalculations spoil the final result. Actually, I also wanted to finish this podcast with a bit of chatting on the topic, which is pretty, it concerns every knitter. So, do you need one project at a time, or do you work on multiple projects? As for me, you can see I can work on 2, maximum 3 projects at a time. Like at the moment I'm working on this bed cover, but that's like a background sort of project which I resort to when I do some TV knitting or crocheting in this case, because the patterns are easy to memorize and you can simply work it and watch. That's all right. This one is now also going to be a TV knitting project because I finished with the shaping and will have to, by the way, I'm going to increase at the sides every maybe like 10 centimeters, because my breast measurement and my hips are a little bit, well, not a little, I'd say like 4 inches wider than my bust, and that's why I'm going to increase, but not much, just so that it sits nicely, but it's going to look, when worn, it's going to look as if it's completely straight. Still, it will be better. The only thing, okay, I got carried away so easily. The only, just remembered I need to mention this. The only thing I'm a bit concerned at the moment is that I cannot walk any breast darts in this piece. I mean, not like vertical, but horizontal ones when you walk short rows to elongate the front part of the sweater so that it fits you better. It gives you more space here, and then it finishes at the same length as your back. Your back finishes at the same length as your front part, and your front part doesn't probably, how to say it, springs up a bit. And here I'm afraid I cannot do it because it's a stripe, and if it's like longer at the front and shorter at the back, it's really noticeable. If it were like solid color, I would definitely walk some short rows. Right after I separated the sleeves from the body, I would walk some short rows in here, and that would make the piece fit me really well. I've already done it. Here I cannot do this, so I hope just that it's not super wide and it's going to sit like close to the body, and I hope it's not going to be that noticeable. I guess so. Anyway, I'm not sure, like I don't have like very wide, very large breast circumference, so I'm sure it will be all right. Just a little bit concerned. I could have done it if it weren't for the stripes. Just for your information, right? If you are doing such a sweater and it doesn't have any stripes, better to include this even if you don't have very big breast. It might still be better. Let's see what it's going to look like. I guess I'll be done maybe in a week with the body. Still, I believe I'm going to continue with the sleeves and the collar. Back to where I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about projects. How many projects you work on at a time. I can work on one like background project, one crochet project, and one knitting. And I'm a little bit reluctant to start any new ones. Actually, not exactly. We have a lot of projects and ideas in our head, and when you have an idea, you want to start immediately. You want to see it in reality. You want to get it done. But I understand that if I have like 5 or 6 works in progress, such projects, I would get carried away so quickly, and I'm not sure that I would be able to finish such projects pretty fast. And I need this like not instant gratification, but at least I need to see the final result pretty soon to see where my project is going. And if I had a lot of projects at a time, I wouldn't know what to start. Although I might probably enjoy the process a bit more if I switched from one to another, and that would be quite interesting. Still, I'm a monogamous knitter, if I can call it so. What about you? Do you have one project at a time, 2 projects at a time, or maybe more? Please share in the comments below. I guess it might lead to a rather nice discussion. That's it for today. My finished object, 2 works in progress, and a bit of me chatting on raglan shaping and objects, your projects. If you have any questions regarding my patterns, my current projects, right, the sweater or the bed cover, please share them in the comments below. I'll be grateful and pleased to see them and answer if I know the answers. Thank you for watching. It's been nice chatting to you. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and encourage me by subscribing to my channel, by your comments. Thank you very much indeed for your views, for your watching my podcast, and see you in the next video. Bye.